First of all, my name is Roy Bloodsaw. I grew up in Seattle, Washington.
Mr. Jab Nash. What's up, brother?
What's up? What's up? How you doing?
My name is Kylie Hampton. I also go by Killa or Kai. I was born and raised here in Seattle, really Renton, Washington.
Me and my 4 younger siblings end up moving in with my dad's mom.
Hello, my name is Chardonnay Beaver, and you are here with Talk of the Town podcast. Now, I know this is a little different because I am not Jav, Kylie, aka Killa, or Roy, but we wanted to do something different today. I'm a multimedia storyteller based here in Seattle, Washington for now. And I am here joined with Roy. Hello, Roy. How are you?
Doing good. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you.
Good.
And thanks for having me today.
Thank you for coming out.
Thanks. Yeah, I'm excited to dive into the stories, the intros, so that the viewers can get to know a little bit about y'all and how this podcast has come about. Cool?
Yeah.
Cool. So, what do you want viewers to know about yourself?
First of all, my name is Roy Bloodsaw. I grew up in Seattle, Washington. I grew up in the Central District. Went to Leschi Elementary School. Ended up moving to Skyway. Went to Campbell Hill, Renton. Then I transferred to the beach. But that's just a little bit about me, where I grew up. I'm just excited about the podcast. A little bit about me is that I like communicating with people. That's one thing about me. I'm a basketball player. Love basketball, and I'm big on family, So that's just a little background about me.
Nice. Short and sweet, but to the point.
Yeah.
So, let's dive a little bit deeper, because what is your story? I believe one of the greatest ways to serve others is to tell your story.
Yeah.
Right? So, what is your story that has brought you to this point? And kind of give us a little bit of an in-depth, an exclusive for the podcast viewers.
Okay. So I normally don't tell people like my how I grew up and everything, but so I grew up with six siblings, and so there's 7 of us in total. So growing up was kind of rough with me and my siblings. My mom, we were struggling at a young age. My dad was in and out of jail, so I barely had my dad in my life. But there were just times when we slept in a van, when nights we're moving house to house to family houses. We did have a house when we were younger, but it got evicted because the living conditions and everything. So then me and my 4 younger siblings end up moving in with my dad's mom, only for like about 2 or 3 years. And then my older brother and sisters lived with my uncle. But then there was a time when the city was like, you guys can't no longer be together. You guys all
have to be split up. Yeah, I want to pause there because, how young are we talking when this starts to unravel?
So I was about 4, 5 years old, 6, around that time.
Yeah.
And then when I hit around like 7, that's when it was like, you guys are all going to get separated into different foster care homes.
And where do you run in the ranking of your siblings?
So my older brother and sisters are twins.
Okay.
So I count them as one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Might as well.
So then I'm like second, pretty much, and then I got 4 younger siblings.
So you're still big brother.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm sorry. Let's press back play. So you was at your granny's house on your dad's side, and then the city comes in and says we have to split up this family.
Yes.
What happened next?
So after that, we found out all the news and everything. So then it was the day comes, my grandparents, my mom's dad, gives them a call, talks to them about it. They're like, we'll take all 7 of them, we'll adopt all 7 of them instead of them being separated, because we're all young. So getting separated at a young age, growing up without your siblings, it was who knows where we would be right now. So they were like, we'll adopt them, we'll take all 7 of them. So then adoption day came. We went to I forgot what it was, like the courthouse or something like that, to do like the paperwork and everything.
Yeah.
From there it was actually in the newspaper and around the city and everything. So
that your grandfather adopted All
Yeah,
seven of you guys.
yeah.
Wow,
It
it's
was
in the
on the
paper.
newspaper. It was my little sister, my two little sisters on like the front cover of the newspaper.
Wow.
And it was going around the city and everything. So, it was big, and I appreciate my grandparents for doing that for us. So never take it for granted.
Yeah, I always believe that sometimes the situations in life that are really not even sometimes, I'll even put down all the time the situations in life that are traumatizing invites us to develop our character, and I'm sure that was traumatic, but also it sounded like you guys had champions on your side,
Yeah.
people to rally around you. How has that shaped you? I mean, even just that experience, it's not really common,
Yeah.
or sometimes it doesn't end the way that yours did with, folks who could step in.
So looking back at it and how far I came from it, my mindset is just to keep going. I know I came from a bad background, what I'm saying, like growing up bad and everything. But
What makes you say bad?
well, a rough background,
Okay.
not bad, but like a rough, grew up kind of rough, kind of hard at first, but like
Yeah.
I said, from getting raised by my grandparents, them taking us in, getting like the caring that we need, it shaped me to be a better person, like I don't take those, like I said, I don't take it for granted what they did for me. So it just made me realize, like, no matter like where I came from, it's going to get better.
Yeah.
So.
And even speaking to, I know for everyone watching, I had the opportunity to speak with yourself, with all the hosts of Talk of the Town, and just really understand, like, what do they want to share about themselves, because they've all had just a bunch of different experiences that make you guys so unique, and then your lives have come together to do this dope podcast, which is like awesome. And so I know one thing we talked about during our convo was like, adjusting from that experience to like basketball entering your life, and then managing growing up, being raised by your grandparents, and then your dad as well, that stuff. So, I mean, through the midst of all this, you said it was 7 when things started to kind of unravel, for lack of better words. When did basketball enter your life? Well, no, football first, right?
Yeah. So so I started off playing football, and when I tell people I used to play football and I tell them that I used to be really good, they don't believe me because they see me playing basketball. What I'm saying? So I started playing football at a young age when I was
Shout out your team.
Little league football, West Seattle Wildcats, Renton Rangers. Shout out those 2 programs. But I was about 7 years old. Played for West Seattle Wildcats first. I was really good. And then I went to Renton Rangers, and then I kept going back and forth between both teams. And then after that, after my last year of Little League football, I was going to high school. And then after Little League, I was just like, I don't want to play high school football. Like, I thought I was too small. I was going to get hurt and everything. So I was like, I'm going to just play basketball. I did play basketball at a younger age, like, you still hoop and everything, but I didn't really think of me playing basketball and continue to do it. So freshman year is when I really took it serious. Like, I just want to play basketball.
Yeah. And that's so funny because I don't typically hear that story.
Yeah.
Coming from the town here in Seattle, basketball is like a major sport.
It is.
Football too, but not on the same level as basketball.
Yeah,
I think everyone will argue that.
Yeah.
And then you think about we have like the Rotary and the Boys and Girls Club and AAU teams and things like that. And people start really early. For you, you said you played a bit, but then you joined in at the beginning of high school. And I mean, you're a hooper now. So ultimately, what was that journey like? You stick with it.
Yeah. So the journey, it's kind of rough, but so freshman year, I'm at Renton High School playing. I played C team, the freshman team. Then sophomore year, I ended up playing JV. Junior year, same thing, JV. But I'm just like, I was playing good during those 3 years. I'm just like, man, I should be playing varsity or whatever. But I never got the opportunity to play varsity. And then my senior year, I left Renton, actually transferred to Rainier Beach, which I shouldn't have done that, But, I didn't play at Rainier Beach, which a lot of people don't know. Because people ask me, oh, you went to beach? Did you play there? No, I didn't.
You said you shouldn't have done that.
Like, I should have, I was telling people that I was transferring to the beach program, but I didn't know, like, all the, like, like the politics and everything around it.
So let's park here really quickly because you're saying a good point. and I don't mean to cut you off, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
There are politics in athletics here that people don't really see on the surface if you weren't like brought up in the ins and outs. Can you speak to that a little bit? Like, what were some of those things?
So, no shade to Beach or anything, but Coach Mike with he has his certain guys that he wants to play for his team. His legacy is really big, state championships and everything. So me going into another program, not them know who I am and everything like that, it was really kind of hard, to be on that program, especially when the roster's already made before anything.
Yeah, things are set in stone.
Yeah. So, after high school, I ended up running to Coach Petty at Beach, and he was telling me to reach out to a prep school because he was wondering why I didn't hoop that season of my senior year. And, he seen me in the hallway with a basketball. He was like, you're carrying a basketball. You don't play for the school? And I was like, nah, this is my senior year. And he was telling me, he's like, I got a coach for you to get in touch with. And it was Coach Jojo Rodriguez. Shout out Coach Jojo. Lakes and Garfield legend. I got in touch with him. I ended up playing for his prep school team that same year, going to September, I believe. And we traveled. We went to Vegas, South Carolina. We traveled to play against good teams like Jalen Green. We played that season, and then after that, I got in touch with Olympic College in Bremerton, JUCO. We made it to Final Four, and the story behind that the Final Four game against Yakima Valley that's for another time. But and then after
say that for the sequel,
say that for another time. And then this past season, I just been injured, so I'm just now getting back on the court. And
I kind of want to spin the block real quick. Coach Petty, are you referring to Coach Petty who had coached at Cleveland?
Cleveland, yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yes, yeah.
Cool. And so now you're in the space where you've entered the podcasting arena, but still have a passion for sports. So I'm just curious, like growing up here and also in a bunch of different areas, like talk about West Seattle a little bit, Renton, the Central District, South Seattle. I mean, how does that inform how you see entertainment, athletics, business? I'm like all the topics on the podcast. There's so many. How does that inform that? And then what are you looking forward to contributing or impacting in that conversation here at Talks of the Town?
So, I have my story, what I'm saying? And there could be people with similar stories. There could be people with other stories that they have, how they grew up and stuff like that. So, starting a podcast, coming on here and having other people share their stories, because there might be somebody that be going through similar things as the person coming on. And, it's good for those other people to hear and, really take notes of it, because, like I'm saying, some people that come on, they have their stories and they say that they don't give up. They keep going. So for other people to come on and get those people to come on the podcast, it relates to me and with my story, and just, just motivation for other people, to never quit, no matter what the circumstances, no matter what you went through.
Love it. And I'm curious, as a closing question, what is your why? What grounds you? I mean, after going what you went through early on in life, some people that would be a destabilizer. Like that would have shook them up, and you sincerely could have chose a different path. And so what is your why? What keeps you grounded? I know we talked about faith before.
Yeah.
Speak to that a little bit, and maybe that could encourage and inspire other people.
So my why, my main motivation and my why is God. My relationship, building a relationship with God. I grew up in a Christian family. My grandpa's big on God and church and everything. So main reason is just God. Whatever He has plans, whatever plans He has for me, I'm just following on the path of what God has for me, no matter what comes through. So.
What does that look like for you? Just practically, for someone who's like, I want to follow the plans, I just don't know how.
Listen to the voice of God. I'm reading my word every day. Reading my word, talking to Him. Lord, what you want me to do, and just going on about it. So yeah.
Thank you, Roy.
Appreciate it.
That is one of your Talk of the Town hosts.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.